When you're scrolling through robot vacuums, the first thing that makes you pause is the question of whether any of them can actually handle the mess you live with every day. I've spent the last few weeks putting the DEEBOT T30S through the routine that most of us actually have, dropping crumbs after dinner, sweeping up pet hair from the hallway, and dealing with a few coffee spills on the kitchen tiles. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. What I'm going to break down isn't a glossy spec sheet, it's the day-to-day reality of using this machine, the moments where it feels like a genuine time saver, and the spots where you might still end up reaching for the broom. First off, the setup. The box opens to a sleek white station that houses both the dustbin and the water tank. You place it on a hard floor surface with at least a foot of clearance on each side, plug it in, and the unit powers up with a soft chime. The app walks you through a quick Wi-Fi connection, then asks you to press Start Mapping. The robot takes about 15 minutes to run a preliminary scan of my 2-story apartment, and you can see a live map forming on the phone. Unlike some cheaper models that get lost on stairs or under a coffee table, the T30S uses AI/VI 3D obstacle avoidance, which means it actually recognizes a stray shoe or a pile of laundry and reroutes itself without stopping. The mapping felt reliable enough that after the first run, I could set a schedule for clean the living room at 9 a.m. and it would start exactly where it left off, no need to relearn the layout each day. Now, suction. The 11,000 pascals rating sounds impressive on paper, and in practice it translates to a noticeable pull when you watch the robot glide over a carpeted hallway. My golden retriever drops a decent amount of fur, and after a single pass the carpet looks visibly less mottled. On hardwood, the suction is gentle enough that it doesn't scatter dust, yet strong enough to pull the fine sand that gets tracked in from the front door. The real test is the combination of vacuum and mop, and that's where the TruEdge adaptive edge mopping shows its purpose. The mop head follows the wall a fraction of an inch closer than many competitors, which meant the kitchen perimeter where water always gathers got a quick swipe without leaving a thin line of water behind. The AI Instant Re-mop feature is the one that felt a bit futuristic at first. After the robot finishes its vacuum pass, the app notifies you if it detected any wet spots that it missed. In my case, a small splash of orange juice on the kitchen tile was identified, and the robot automatically switched to a hot water mop cycle to go over that exact area a second time. It's a nice safety net for those occasional spills that you don't want to leave sitting until the next scheduled clean. The hot water capability really does make a difference. The water is warm enough to dissolve light stickiness but not scalding, and the mop pads stay moist without dripping onto the floor. ZeroTangle anti-tangle technology is a claim you see a lot in marketing, and the T30S lives up to it better than I expected. I have a house cat who sheds heavily, and while a few strands still got caught on the brush after a month of daily runs, it was nowhere near the amount you'd see on a standard brush. The brush does need a quick rinse every few weeks, but the overall maintenance time stayed under 10 minutes per month, which feels reasonable for a robot that empties its own bin. Speaking of self-emptying, the Omni station can hold about 0.5 L of dust before it asks you to empty the bag. In a household with 2 dogs, I found I needed to empty it roughly twice a week, which is a lot less effort than pulling out a full-size bag from a traditional vacuum. The water tank, on the other hand, holds just enough for a couple of mop cycles before you have to refill it. The station is positioned near the kitchen sink for that very reason, so topping it up is as easy as filling a kettle. If you live in a small studio and can't spare that much floor space, the station could become a bit of a footprint issue, and you'll need a clear spot for both the dust bag and the water reservoir. Who should consider the T30S? If you have mixed flooring carpet in the bedrooms, hardwood in the living areas, and tile in the kitchen and you're looking for a set-and-forget solution that can handle both vacuuming and light mopping, this robot lands solidly in that sweet spot. Pet owners will appreciate the strong suction and the ZeroTangle brush, while families with kids will like the AI Re-mop that catches spills the moment they happen. The price point is higher than entry-level models, but you're buying a device that combines 3 separate appliances: a vacuum, a mop, and a self-emptying station. 4.